Hi, my name is Mutale, and today I'm going to be talking about food insecurity among senior citizens during COVID-19. What is food insecurity? Food insecurity is a lack of access to enough good and healthy food for a household. During a U.S. News study, a U.S. News article, unfortunately, Robert Mukes, who is 71 years old, died from starvation in December of 2016 in Cincinnati. This story in this article moved me greatly due to the fact that there are so many people that were going through food insecurity, similar to Robert Mukes. Then 8% of Americans 60 and older were found to be food insecure in 2017. According to the U.S. Department of Agriculture, only 45% of adults eligible for the SNAP food stamp program signed up, but there are such a large number of folks that did not. There is information that is just either unsure of whether they don't know about the program itself or believe that there may not be enough benefits, but this is affecting so many people. Therefore, it's really important to talk about. There are 5.5 million seniors who do not have a consistent access to enough food for a healthy life. This number has doubled since 2001. 1 in 10 over 40 households are food insecure. And this is just a graph of the recent trends that have occurred since 2005, from 2005 to 2012. And the Great Recession caused a huge rise in food insecurity. It went from 13.8% in 2007 to 18% in 2008, and then increased thereafter until 2012. This recession definitely can cause a lot of economic strain on individuals, especially on seniors. And given that we may be going into a recession due to the economic effects that the pandemic has had, we may see another uptick and rise in food insecurity. And this just shows the food insecurity rates by state. The states with insecurity rates above 20% are Alabama, Arkansas, Kansas, Louisiana, Maine, Mississippi, Missouri, New Mexico, South Carolina, and Texas. Adults age 65 and over, there are about 7.2 million adults that are below 100% of the poverty line. There are about 21.4 million adults that are 200% below the poverty line, and 2.9 million households that are food insecure. About 8.3 of those 2.9 million households house someone that is an elderly individual. And so I'm going to be talking a little bit about the ramifications of food insecurity. According to AARP, food insecurity affects low-income and minority seniors disproportionately. There are also significant wealth and income disparities among older adults by race and ethnicity and gender. Black and Latino adults, as well as women, tend to have higher rates of economic insecurity than white adult men. More than 17% of Black seniors and 16% of Latino seniors are food insecure, compared with fewer than 7% of white seniors. Older adults with food insecurity are also more likely to have high blood pressure and diabetes. Chronic health conditions can add to a household's expenses related to medical care and burden those already food insecure. According to many of the studies that have been published today, there are seniors that have higher risk of contracting COVID-19, but they are unable to afford to stock up on food or supplies. If they are able to stock up on food or supplies, they are often in need of more assistance to get to and from grocery stores. Food insecurity and the physical functioning limitations. Given the growing aging population and the importance of physical functioning and adequate food intake, the rise of food insecurity is a public health problem. Older adults with 4 or more physical limitations were more likely to report low food insecurity than those without limitations. So this really stresses how important our physical activity is as well. The strongest correlation of food insecurity were the instruments of daily living: leisure, social activities, and physical activity. Physical functioning is important for food insecurity, and it's important for food insecurity among older adults. Intervention should incorporate physical functioning, provide resources for food acquisition, preparation, and intake of older adults with those physical limitations, and many assessments of that. Some of the physical assessments mentioned in class that may also help are the arm curl test, sit and reach test, back scratch test, and the chair stand. Practicing exercises that include endurance, strength to carry those groceries, or pots when cooking, heavy pots when cooking, flexibility and balance to prevent falls, and also to be able to stand for a longer period of time in order to prepare those meals will help decrease the amount of physical limitations. Food insecurity and physical functioning limitations. Let's continue. Physical limitations may be related to altered food access and the use of possibly contributing to food insecurity among older adults, like I mentioned prior. And so older adults with physical limitations may have difficulty preparing meals. They may become less than food secure, not only due to the lack of financial resources that I mentioned earlier, but potentially because of the limited functional activities related to food intake. The challenges of food security in the older adult population are multidimensional, and solutions will need to integrate both these individual barriers to food acquisition, preparation, and intake. How COVID-19 has been impacting food banks. Senior centers and food banks have closed due to shrinking numbers of volunteers, and that's also due to the stay-at-home orders. Lack of food donations due to stay-at-home orders and food hoarding that have been occurring at supermarkets and grocery stores have started to cause a decreasing amount of food at food banks. And seniors that depend on food at senior centers are now having that food delivered. And I'll mention later on in the presentation some of the resources that seniors can reach out to have their food delivered. California COVID-19 meal plan. So the senior delivery program that Governor Newsom partnered with FEMA is able to provide $16 for breakfast, $17 for lunch, and $28 for dinner for each senior in the meal delivery program. In order to be eligible, one must have an income of 600% less than the federal poverty line, must have already been exposed to the coronavirus, or must have a compromised immune system or high risk of contracting the coronavirus. In order to sign up, you can call 211 or go to covid19.ca.gov. Some of the other meal assistance programs are Meals on Wheels. Nationally, there are tens of thousands of seniors who are waiting to get their Meals on Wheels food. So it's really, really important to volunteer if you are able to. And if you are hoping to get those meals delivered, they are delivered weekdays between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m., $7.39 per meal, or you can go to mowp.org to receive a delivery. Meals on Wheels is not only just an amazing program for seniors, but it also provides human connection as well as food from these services. And a lot of the seniors that do rely on these services, they really count on the visits with their volunteers as much as they do for the food. And then another great resource is Feeding America, which is a nationwide food bank. And in order to find your local food bank, it is feedingamerica.org. And thank you so much. Here are my resources. Thank you.